praise God in the name of Jesus. Today is a very blessed, and I'll be sharing something with you that's going to transform you. We're going to be having a prophetic encounter, a message that's going to open your eyes to see the things of the prophetic. I'm going to share with you something that's going to elevate you, that's going to propagate you, it's going to take you to a level that you've never ever experienced before. Now I'm going to show you why some people succeed and others suffer. I'm going to show you what makes the difference between the people that succeed and the ones that suffer. There's a clear distinction about those that succeed and the ones that suffer. Now, for those of you that have not yet got my book, you should get my book, Prophecy, Dreams and Visions. It's very powerful. There have been lots of people that have ordered that book all over the world, and the book is only available electronically. The moment you do your payments, you can pay using your credit card, you can pay using EFT. The moment you do that payment, the book will be emailed to you, will be sent to you directly. I will personally send that book to you. And when I send that book to you, it means something is about to unleash in your life. There's something in your life that's going to break. And when that thing break, you are going to be taken to a level of the prophetic that you have never seen before. That dreams has helped many people. There are people that can interpret dreams now. There are people that can now see visions. There are people that can now prophesy and speak prophecy. You understand the different realms of prophecy. You know the prophecy of men, prophecy of God. There's a prophecy of angels. There's dreams that are coming from the dreams of the spirit, the dreams of the flesh, the dreams that come from different encounters. What is a dream within a dream? What happens if you dream the same thing over and over again? What happens if you dream something early in the morning? What happens if you dream late at night? What's the difference between a warning dream and a dream that is going to happen no matter what? That's called a fixed dream. All those things have been explained in my book, and you're going to see those things. To see vision. What is vision? Does vision mean seeing? It's not about seeing. What is the difference between a vision and a dream? It's in my book. Now I want to share with you that is going to bless you. Now I want to share with you something about the prophetic. The prophetic is very sensitive. It's a layer that is going to change the world. The Bible says on the last day, says the Lord. That's what Joel prophesied. It says on that last day, your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. It says your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. So those are the three things that will happen in the last day. It says your sons and daughters shall prophesy. So the prophets will be the last days. Then it says your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. That is what is going to happen in the last day, and it's happening right now. People are asking, why is it like that? Why is it happening that way? It is happening just as the prophet Joel had spoken. Joel prophesied that, and he said it. Now I want to show you something. Why is it that Joyce Meyer's ministry is expanding? Why is it that there's a particular this lady, I'm speaking prophetically now, how come her ministry has just exploded? It's just exploded all over the world. Joyce Meyer. If you take Joyce Meyer to any country, to Kenya, to Nigeria, wherever you go, she makes a conference, her conference just fills to capacity. What is it? Why is it that she has this overflow anointing? I'm going to show you the power of the overflow anointing. Now, Joyce Meyer, if you read that story, if you study that story, you find out this woman was raped by her father. And not only was she raped by her father, she was raped by her father when she was still a child, when she was still very young. And she was raped repeatedly by her father, which is very, very painful. And why is it that is the particular point, that thing that happened to her many years ago did something to her that has now affected her ministry? And I'm going to show you why. And if you read all her messages, you find out something, that Joyce Meyer never ever criticized the father. She never insulted the father. She never went back to destroy the father or to make the father to suffer. Why is it that when she did that, when she did what she did, and she never accused the father, she never did something bad to destroy the father, she never wanted revenge against the father? Why is it that has affected her ministry? I'm going to show you. This is powerful. It is a revelation that will blow up your mind. It will make you another person. Now, the story that I'm going to narrate is a story about Isaac and Abraham. The Bible says something between Isaac and Abraham. The Bible says in the morning, when Abraham got up in the morning, God told Abraham that take your only son Isaac to the mountain and sacrifice your son. The Bible says Abraham got up in the morning, took the son Isaac, and they were walking to the mountain. The Bible says Isaac asked Abraham, we are going to the mountain. I see the wood. I see the preparation. I see the oil. I see everything to prepare the sacrifice. And Isaac asked Abraham, where is the sacrifice? And the Bible says Abraham told Isaac, God will provide. And as they went to that mountain, Abraham placed Isaac on the altar. The Bible says Abraham took Isaac, placed Isaac on the altar. And as he was about to offer Isaac as a sacrifice, the Bible says something about that particular mountain. The Bible says an angel appeared in that mountain and told Abraham, don't sacrifice your son. He says, look, turn behind and look. There's a ram that I've put there for you. Exchange your son with that ram. Instead of sacrificing your son, sacrifice the ram. And the Bible says they went down. Now, if you read carefully in the Bible, nowhere did Isaac got angry or got upset, got offended with Abraham. Even though Abraham was about to sacrifice Isaac and Isaac was about to die, nowhere did Isaac got offended by Abraham. Why is it so? That's the question. Why is it that Isaac never got angry with Abraham? Because Abraham was about to sacrifice him, but he never got angry. Why? Because Isaac knew one thing. Isaac knew this was not about his father. This was not his father's doing. Isaac knew this was God's doing. And because Isaac knew this was God's doing, Isaac knew in himself that this was actually God. It's not my father. It's about God. Because Isaac knew it was about God, and Isaac knew this. When Isaac was placed in that altar and was about to be sacrificed as an innocent lamb, remember, Isaac had not sinned. He was like an innocent lamb. Isaac was promoted spiritually. He received a spiritual elevation that when they came out down from that mountain, Isaac became more anointed, became more pure than Abraham. Because remember, Abraham had already presented Isaac to God on the altar. And when Isaac's soul left his body and went up to heaven, God purified Isaac's soul. And Isaac became more purer than Abraham. Now let me tell you why I will show Isaac became purer than Abraham. Isaac was one of the saints that was like the most pure saints. Because his soul was one of the soul that faced God. Because when Mama Isaac was in that altar, his soul had already left his body. And his soul met with God. And God purified his soul and brought his soul back inside his body. And the moment his soul came back in the body, Isaac was a pure man. Let me show you why. That's why when you study the Bible, you find out that when there was hunger in Israel, there was hunger. There was a time in Israel where there was hunger in the land. There was dryness in the land. The Bible says Abraham left Israel, the Holy Land. He left Israel and he went to Egypt. Abraham went to Egypt to get food in Egypt. And when Abraham went to Egypt to get food in Egypt, the reason he went to Egypt is because whatever Abraham planted in that land, he could not grow. Because the Bible says God had held the heavens. The heavens were tight. The soil could not produce. The land was barren. Abraham sowed and could not, the trees, the things that Abraham sowed, the plants could not grow. His animals could not eat. Abraham went to Egypt to go and sow to a land, in another man's land, to go and buy, to go and get food. Abraham went there with his cows, with his men. Now, the Bible speaks about Isaac. The Bible says when there was hunger in the land of Israel, when there was dryness in the land, the Bible says that land was such that God had held that land not to produce. When Isaac sowed inside the land produced 100-fold harvest inside the drought. Why? Because Isaac had received a higher purity, a higher level of purity than his own father Abraham. Why did he receive a high level of purity? He received a high level of purity because he was about to be sacrificed innocently. His soul had already left his body. He was about to be sacrificed innocently. He had that level of purity such that when he sowed inside a dry land, the land reproduced and it multiplied. And the Bible says Isaac even dug the wells that were dry in the days of Abraham. Isaac went to the wells that Abraham had, those wells that were dry. The Bible says when Isaac started digging those wells, water came out of that well, fresh water. Why was it so? Because of Isaac's purity. That's why I told you Isaac was more pure, was more righteous. He attained a level of purity that was even more than Abraham. The things that happened in the life of Isaac could not even happen in the life of Abraham. Why? Because of that sacrifice. Now, when you study Joyce Meyer's ministry, if you look at that prophetically, Joyce Meyer's ministry, it grows and it's expanding. When Joyce Meyer's father, when the moment that lady was suffering as a child, that was the most horrendous thing that happened. The moment that was happening, her soul received a level of purity that is more than any other female pastor that you've ever seen. And the moment her soul received that level of purity, that's what is going to happen. That's why she now can go up. And when she preaches wherever she goes, even where people say you cannot preach there, when Joyce Meyer appears in that place, starts preaching, that place overflow, just like Isaac. He has received that level. Let me tell you something that's happening now, speaking prophetically. Some of you think that the suffering you're going inside your life, the suffering you're going through, those suffering is for bad. No, it's for your good. The moment somebody punishes you or somebody makes you to suffer for it, it's something that you did not commit. The moment you find yourself being innocent but suffering for the consequence of something that you did not commit as a child of God, it is raising you spiritually in the realm of the spirit. Your spiritual level is being elevated. The moment that happens, your spiritual level elevates. It means that things that you attain after that level, that even when you pray, you fast, you will not attain it. That is powerful. This powerful. Someone wrote to me and says, listen, I'm working in this company, I want to preach. So Paul wrote to me and says, I want to preach. He says, but every time I want to preach, it's like I find attack in the company. Everybody tries to attack me. Everybody tries to attack me in the company, but I'm trying to preach. Let me tell you why. If people start attacking you in the company and God has called you to the ministry, that is purifying you. It's elevating you to a level of purity, just like Isaac. That when you go out and you start to plant the word, you start to sow the word, you start to preach the word, you start to sow whatever you lay your hands on, that thing begins to prosper, just like Isaac. It is a powerful revelation. Never give up. Never get to the point where you start to say to yourself, listen, I cannot do it again. Never throw the towel and say, no, it's over. That's why I advise you to get my book, Prophecy, Dreams and Visions. Prophecy, Dreams and Vision. It's going to open your eyes. You're going to see that the things that we see in this world doesn't really happen the way we think. The world is controlled by forces that we cannot see. Before God created the heavens and the earth, He created principles, He created laws. Those laws, and one of those laws, they are the laws of spiritual elevation. How you get yourself spiritually elevated? How do you get yourself to attain to live that level of purity where when you speak, your words carry power? There is something that needs to happen. And that law that God has created is emotion, whether you believe it or not. It is emotion. It is emotion. And right now, as I'm speaking, it's emotion. We are going through challenges. Those challenges you are going through is not for your destruction. Those challenges you are going through is for your spiritual elevation. Something big is about to happen at the other end of which challenge. Your story that you're going through, that you think that story is too hard, nobody can overcome this. Maybe you're going through now in your office, there are just attacks everywhere. Maybe you're working in your business and your business seems to be going down every time, and you're asking yourself, why is happening? Let me tell you something. God is about to elevate you to a level you have never been before. Maybe you're facing injustice. Maybe you're in the prison. Maybe in your marriage, you are struggling in your marriage and your marriage is falling apart. Everything is being destroyed. Or maybe you were married before and your husband tormented you and abused you and almost killed you. Let me tell you something. That is happening for your spiritual elevation. Never sit down. Don't go quiet. Don't sit down and wallow. Get up like Isaac and sow in the land. And sow in the land. Get into the things of the prophecy. Get into the things of ministry. Your life will not be the same again. You are going to be elevated. That story is for your spiritual purity. Never give up. I speak to people every day. I write to them every day. There are things that happen in your life that are happening for the glory of God. They're not happening for your evil. They happen for the glory of God. If you know those things, if you identify those things early enough in your life, you'll be a success. You'll be a success. You'll be a wonderful success. Joyce Meyer's ministry just exploded. Her ministry is just so big, it's so vast in the US. Matter of fact, her conferences are so big that she's running out of venues. She's running out of venues. Why? Because of that level of purity that she has attained. She has attained a level of purity that no other female pastor in America has ever attained it. And because she has attained that high level of purity, wherever she goes, there's explosion. That's what happens when you go through that kind of situation in life. Your story is something that is very powerful in your journey. Never take your story for granted. Don't overlook your story. There are people that want to listen to your story. At the moment you start narrating your story to them, your life will be impacted. Don't be a person that carry grudges. Don't bear grudges. Don't internalize grudges. Use your story for your glory, and God is going to elevate you from glory to glory. Write to me at prophetpastoral@gmail.com. I'm going to respond to you. I'm going to pray for you. Those who want to be part of my sonship program, those who want to be part of my mentorship program, those who want to receive the mantle of the prophetic, and I'm speaking to you now. God is going to elevate you. He's going to lift you up. Write to me. I'm going to give you prophetic direction that is going to help you. Make sure you order that book, Prophecy, Dreams and Vision. It's very powerful. I've received a lot of messages from people of the world because of that book. I've received a lot of requests. People say, I want to be under this anointing. I want to be under this mantle. I want to receive something from you. I see something. But let me tell you, these eyes are the eyes, because it's called the eyes of Scorpion. They see in the dark. They see what others don't see. As I look in the realm of the spirit, I see you making it. As I look in the realm of the spirit, I see a story has just begun. There's a new thing. There's a spark of the prophetic that's being lit right now inside of you. And some of you that were doubting and say, can I do it? Cannot do it right now? After this message, there's a spark that has been lit inside of you. Amen.